So at the beginning of the film, we see the sky filled with birds. Seeing this, the villagers abandon all their work and hide in their homes. At this very moment, a daughter is born to a woman named Nawin. Upon birth, she goes back into her mother's body and begins eating her. Seeing this horrific scene, the woman who delivered the child runs away in fear, shouting that the child is evil. 9 years pass in the story, and we are shown this child, Nawin's daughter, whom no one talks to. Forget about talking to her. No one even recognizes her as a human being, as everyone considers her the offspring of the devil. No one has even given her a name. For years, there wasn't a temple in the village where this girl was born. Years later, when a temple was built, a monk saw her sitting alone. She looked sad. The monk asked her, "What's your name, daughter?" When they learned that no one had named her for 9 years, they named her Panor themselves and tied a thread on her hand for her safety. As soon as they touched Panor's body, her health deteriorated, and by the time they finished tying the thread, she began vomiting blood. Seeing Mong's condition, all the women began cursing Novin, asking why she had brought her there. Novin had to face great embarrassment because of Panor again. A few more years pass. Panor starts going to school, where she remains isolated. Downstairs, all the children in her class were playing. A child named Pong was having a great game. A girl chairs her, but Pong's friend takes offense and in anger knocks the poor girl down. But the girl stands up, notices a spider on Pong's body, knocks it down, and Panor stares at her strangely. Suddenly, a multitude of spiders appeared from nowhere on this girl's body and began gnawing at her skin. Everyone was horrified by her condition. The school authorities took her to the hospital. It turns out that Panor had only one friend, with whom she now gets a photo made. And as they were leaving the studio, they witnessed a fight between some boys. They were about to slap a boy's body when Panor's friend yelled, "Police, police," saving his life. In fact, the boy, whose life they had just saved, had been Panor's friend. But one day, when Panor brought him some sweets, the boy's mother called him a devil, and upon saying this, her condition began to deteriorate. The veins on her body began to turn black. When the boy and his father came out, they saw Panor holding her by the throat, her eyes wide and black, like those of a devil. Thus, he believed that Panor had killed the girl's mother, and from that day on, he hated her. In the present, we see Novin, who had begun performing a ritual. She had the old corpse of a small child with her, and was about to kill herself while reciting something when Panor arrived. Enraged, Novin decided to kill Panor, revealing that Panor's mother, Novin, also hated her. Tonight, while sleeping, Panor also has a dream in which she sees a terrifying place where magic was being performed. There, she sees magical symbols drawn on the body of a woman. As soon as the woman turns to Panor, she realizes that it was Navin, her mother, who, upon looking at her, impregnated the girl, Panor herself. She wakes up in fear. This dream had deeply troubled her. She wanted to tell her friend about it. So, when she came to visit her friend in the morning, she learned of a murder. The man who was murdered had a tattoo similar to the one on the person in her dream. This frightened her. She wanted to see his face, but he was completely injured. She drew a picture of the tattoo in her book and told her friend about her dream and the murdered man. Her friend said, "Don't worry. We'll go to the place you saw in your dream and uncover the secret of who these people with symbols are and why they're appearing in your dreams." During their conversation, Panor felt pain and realized she had her period. Asking her friend to wait, she went to get her essentials. But on the way, she encountered a man with the same tattoo. The girl recognizes her as Panor's friend. Before she can even see his face, the man casts a spell on her, causing her to vomit blood and then black magic items. Seeing her condition worsen, Panor arrives. Before Panor's eyes, several lizards emerge, tearing her stomach apart. Her condition worsens. Panor asks her what's wrong, but she can't answer. One lizard even rips her eye open, leading to the girl's painful death. Just then, the girl's father, a police officer, arrives. He arrests Panor because he suspects her of being the killer, as his hands were around her neck. When the body is taken for an autopsy, no evidence is found that Panor killed her. But the strange wounds and injuries on the body made them unable to understand the reason behind this death. Therefore, Panor is also released. Panor tells her friend's father, "Believe me, I was just trying to save her life." Meanwhile, at home, we see Novin, who received a letter from someone saying that Panor had grown up. How did people outside know this? Whatever it was, Novin became strange and locked Panor in her room. Strange things began to happen to Panor as well. She suffered severe itching all over her body, so much so that she even scratched her skin. She remained in pain the entire night. But when she woke up the next morning, she had transformed into a very beautiful girl. Everyone at school started following her around. Even Pong, the most handsome boy in her class, was desperate to talk to her. And seeing this, Pong's friend became jealous of Panor. Panor had brought a bouquet for her friend today, which she placed on her desk, promising her that no matter what, she would catch her murderer. After class, when Pong came to talk to her, Panor asked for his help to go to the place she had dreamt of. Pong readily agreed, saying the place looked like it had been closed for years. But upon entering, they saw a strange temple with fresh flowers and other objects still lying around. This led them to believe that people still visited the place. There were no other people there at the time, but that night other classmates came. In fact, Pong's friend, who was jealous of Panor, had brought her classmates there. They already hated Panor, considering her a devil. Even today, they come and treat her very badly. The girls abuse her and beat her, while the boys try to harm her. But then Payak, her childhood friend who believed Panor was responsible for her mother's death, comes to Panor's rescue, proving that she still harbors feelings for her. Whatever the case, Panor had been terribly hurt. The tragedy had devastated her. She came home and cried all night, remembering her friend's words. "Why don't you take revenge on those who treated you this way?" Partly out of grief for her friend, and partly because of her own grief, she decided to take revenge. In the morning, the first person she attacked was Pong, who had caused all this trouble. After Pong, she also tried to kill Pong's friend, who somehow managed to escape. She had been unable to control herself these days, so in her stress, she went to Mac. It was here that she became very awkward even while talking to Mac. As she was tying a thread on Mac's hand, her eyes turned evil, and Mac was in immense pain. His friend Pyack witnessed this with his own eyes. He couldn't understand why Panor did this to everyone. Meanwhile, we are shown that the girl Panor had attacked earlier that morning had now come to perform a black magic spell on him to take revenge. This spell was causing Panor to feel pain. The same thing the witch was doing to the statue she had created of Panor was happening to him as well. Just then, the man whose body we saw the tattoo on passes by. He understands that someone is casting a spell on Panor after seeing his deteriorating condition. Therefore, when he himself recites a spell, the statue of Panor lying near the witch breaks down. But the witch's spell still lingered, penetrating Panor's ears. To remove the spell, the man began chanting incantations and kicking Panor's chest. This caused pain, not Panor, but the witch who had cast the spell. Her ribs were broken, and her chest exploded, killing her. Seeing this horrific scene, even those who had performed the spell fled in fear. The man who had broken Banor's spell went to her mother, Novin, and tortured, and scolded her for failing to care for Panor. Novin then asked him, "Why should I care for her? You only kept me here to give birth to her. You didn't even pay me, and you kept me captive for so many years." Panor was deeply saddened by her mother's words. So, the man, named Trisum, threw some money at Novin's face and attempted to kill her. Whoever she was Novin's daughter. She couldn't bear to see her daughter die like this. So she attacked the man, saved her daughter, and fled. But something connected with Panor, and she couldn't leave that town. Before they could leave, a multitude of birds filled the sky, just like in the beginning of a movie. They attacked Novin, slitting his throat and killing him. On the other side of the river, a friend of Novin's was standing. With great difficulty, Panor took Novin's boat there, and there, dying, Novin told her friend, "You have to take care of my daughter now." Panor is also devastated by her mother's death, as she had no one else in the world. The next day, Novin's friend tells her story. She tells her that Novin wanted to become a great singer, but her parents wouldn't agree, so she decided to run away from home and go to Bangkok. But she had no money. Then she met some members of a cult who asked Novin to have a child, promising her a lot of money. But after the child was born, they refused to pay and said she couldn't leave until the child grew up. Thus, without the child, you became a problem for her. You stood in the way of her dreams. That's why she never loved you. She also gives her Novin's letter, which read, "Panor, I never loved you because you were the biggest rock in my life. But then you loved me so much, and it made me feel guilty, wondering why I couldn't love my own daughter." Reading this, Panor bursts into tears. A twist here is the revelation that Panor possessed special powers, which many people were after, including Trisum, the man who wanted to kill Panor and take her powers. He begins to chant his magic spells, and a multitude of black birds appear at the house where Panor was. Seeing this, the woman takes Panor inside. Panor's condition has deteriorated significantly due to Trisum's magic, and she asks him to unleash his inner powers enabling him to fight the world. To make her task easier, the woman begins to chant some spells herself, weakening Trisom's magic. Panor unleashes her inner powers, rendering Trisom's entire magic completely useless. Trisom is now deeply distressed. He goes to the leader of the company he was working for and tells him that his magic didn't work on Panor. The leader says, "Don't worry. Whatever happens, Panor will come to us one day." Elsewhere, we see Peeg Kinney, Panor's friend. He wants to know what's wrong with Panor, that she's causing everyone trouble. To find out, he goes to the monk. Monk reveals the truth about Panor, a major twist for us. Panor wasn't a devil, but rather a powerful being who absorbed evil or curses. She could sense and save people who were cursed or possessed by negativity. She could absorb the magic of others, causing immense pain, but she never complained. Monk explains, "I don't know why the people of this town don't want a temple here and repeatedly use black magic to kill me. And Panor is the one who saves me." Peeg realized that even when Peeg's mother died, Panor wasn't killing them, but rather that they already had a dark spell on them, which Panor was taking upon herself. Now, his respect for Panor increased even more. Here, we see that Panor herself is also very angry. She still wants to take revenge on the children who wronged her. She makes 4 dolls, the first of which is of Pong's friend, who had planned this whole plan to abuse Panor. Here, we see that Pong and the girl were still together. They were saying, "Thank God Panor left here. Otherwise, who knows what would have happened with the magic potion. But even if she comes here, I'm not too afraid because I have the blood of the black dog, which easily dispels any spell." After a while, Pong leaves, and Panor uses her magic to summon the spirit of the witch who had cast the spell on Panor, and the spirit begins to torment him. Pong, too, was no good person. He was also interested in girls and used black magic to attract them. This time, he had come to Trisom, Panor's enemy, to seduce another girl. Panor became aware of his presence and took some mud from Pong's shoes outside Trisom's house to cast the spell on him. This is when Trisom became suspicious. He went outside to stop Panor, and they finally came face to face. He took the doll Panor had made and the other old woman with whom he had cast the spell on Pong and his companion. Trisom then began to break the doll while reciting some incantations, causing Panor pain. Panor somehow manages to get up and goes to the girl's house, collects the blood of the black dog, and pours it on Trisom. Trisom's magic is now useless. At Trisom's house, she sees numerous pictures and a child whom everyone respects very much. Trisom tells her that he is actually Panor's father. Hearing this, Panor becomes even more enraged and kills Trisom. Pong is still alive, and so is the girl. Pong blames the girl, saying, "I was certainly involved in their plan that day, but it was my friend who hatched the plan." Panor and no one else were spared. She takes a needle and sews their skin and lips together. The next morning, when school opens, everyone in the assembly room is horrified to see the bodies of the 4 children who had wronged Panor. Seeing this, we understand that Panor has taken revenge. Their deaths were so strange. The police received news of another death. Upon arriving at the home, they discover that it was Trisum whose intestines had been pulled out. At Trisum's house, they also find the bodies of Pong and his friend. The police quickly decipher the story, believing these children were killed out of a feud. However, Trisum's killer was likely someone else. They discover the same tattoo on Trisum's body, a picture of which his daughter had given them at Panor's request. The next day, a festival was to be held in town. The police arrive, knowing that Panor would be there to find the tattooed men who were after her and had killed her daughter. The police were expecting Panor to come and attack a couple of people, but Panor played the opposite game. Using her magic, she removed the tattoo from Trisum's body and mixed it into the villagers' food, casting a spell on it. This caused the villagers to develop a strange allergic reaction and begin dying on the spot. This caused chaos. But then the school principal arrived and began to heal them all, cursing Piak. He had no animosity towards Piak. He simply wanted to place the entire village's curse on one boy so that everyone would survive. And this